I mean, what the fuck was the scene where Galadriel was fucking riding the horse backwards with the sword? She's like, and she fucking kills an orc, bro. It's some of the wildest shit I've ever seen. Like, she was upside down, man. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? First of all, Galadriel, all right, is literally one of the worst characters I have ever had the displeasure of watching on. She literally, this is her face. Look at this face. This is her face the entire show. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Atreus. I'm coming at you live from the ATL, talking about more pop culture news centering around gaming, TV shows, movies, and everything else in between, all right? Today we got to talk about Rings of Power for the first time in a while. Let's do it after the drop.
What makes you think that I'm an answer if you ain't mine? Even if you call me up.
All right, team, you already know what to do. Go ahead and hit the like button, the red subscribe button if you are enjoying the content. And after you do, go into the description and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We are raising a little PC fund over here, so if you're feeling generous, go ahead and hit me in Venmo or Cash App, whichever one is better for you. I'm boycotting PayPal, so I don't use that shit. All right, let's go ahead and get into the news. All right, so yes, it has been a while since I talked about Lord of the Rings on this channel, and there's a reason for that, because I was boycotting the show. I had said like a while ago that I wouldn't be watching the show because I'm not going to watch a show that accuses its audience of being racist and sexist and all this other shit. But you know what? I recently finished the show. I'm not going to talk about how, but I did finish it after having some company over that wanted to watch it. And Jesus, the show's so bad. It's beautiful, but bad. But that's not what we want to talk about. What we want to talk about is how much the media is turning on Rings of Power. So as you can see this article right here. Now, I don't know how credible this site is, Starter Facts. But it says Gen Z doesn't give a shit about the Rings of Power. And we're not going to read the whole article, not that it's very long or anything, but it appears that Amazon's Lord of the Rings of Power is struggling to attract young viewers. 71% of the show's audience is 35 years or older in the U.S., according to Nielsen's latest streaming data. Now, this is important because the entire reason why they made some of the decisions that they made was to attract younger audiences. All of the diversity and inclusion shit was to attract Gen Zers because, you know, they're supposed to be the most progressive and all this shit. Well, guess what, moron? They aren't the ones who grew up reading J.R.R. Tolkien. Do they even fucking read? Is what I want to know. I mean, if you're a Gen Z person, I ain't trying to throw no shade. It's just I look at y'all and see more TikTokers than I see book readers. But whatever the case may be. And now you're looking like a complete moron, Amazon. Your audience is 35 and older, bro. Like, I don't know what you thought this was, and I'm 30. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up. I read The Lord of the Rings and I read The Hobbit. I ain't read anything other than that. I might read though. And that's another reason why I didn't review the show, because I'm not like a Tolkien expert and I don't want to be talking out the side of my neck when it comes to, you know, the lore and all of that. So they can attract these younger audiences. Most importantly, their personal anecdotes confirm what statistics reveal. Generation Z does not care that much about Tolkien. They grew up with Harry Potter and Percy Jackson instead, and currently their taste ensures MCU's popularity, and perhaps popularity of the Rings of Power's competitor, House of the Dragon, based on George Martin's books, which stood atop all the more recent fantasy sagas aimed at more adult audiences. Hello? Now, do not take this data and just say, oh, well, let's not make any more Lord of the Rings because people don't care about it. No. What you need to do is you need to appeal to the fucking audience who is actually a fan of it so that they can like it first. And when they start talking about how much they like it, they'll talk to Gen Zers about how much they like it, and maybe the Gen Zers will try it out. You don't fucking alienate your core audience and try to go for a new audience. You don't do that shit. I don't, like, where do you got, anyway, let's go ahead to this next part. You got this guy over at The Guardian who says, now that it's over, let's come out and say it. The Rings of Power was a stinker. Now remember, all of the articles that you saw about this show were positive. Like, nobody was saying anything negative except for us on YouTube. when the Lord of the Rings, and now all of a sudden that it's over, everybody got the most negative shit to say. When the Lord of the Rings of Power debuted at the same time as the House of Dragon, much noise was made about which show attracted more eyeballs. According to Nielsen, it was a conclusive victory for Tolkien, with the Rings of Power viewings watching the first two episodes at 1.25 billion minutes, compared with House of the Dragon's 741 million. But over the week, something strange happened. House of the Dragon has sucked up the spotlight. It has attracted tweets, theories, memes, discussions, all on a rolling boil since the first episode. Meanwhile, if the Rings of Powers has been seen anywhere, it was only in places paid for by Amazon. There are billboards and adverts and special Amazon packing tape adorned with the show's logo. But in terms of spontaneous, organic excitement, it has been a wilderness. Why? Well, now that the first season is finally over, there's one clear answer. The Lord of the Rings of Power, isn't very good. It quite often isn't anywhere near good. There are moments in almost every episode where I have found myself sniggering into my sleeve at how inept it is. And all these misgivings were massively underlined by the finale. I mean, what the fuck was the scene where Galadriel was fucking riding the horse backwards with the sword? She's like, and she fucking kills an orc, bro. It's some of the wildest shit I've ever seen. Like, she was upside down, man. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? First of all, Galadriel, all right, is literally one of the worst characters I have ever had the displeasure of watching on screen. She literally, this is her face. Look at this face. This is her face the entire show. The entire show. I think she smiles once, and it was the weirdest smile I had ever seen. And that's when she got on that horse for the first time. She was like, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on with this show? This shit is wild. And then and you can tell they were trying their best to make her appear like a man. Like, this is the most you'll see of her chest the entire show. The rest of it, they were hiding her chest. They literally had her titties like under her arms, trying to make it look like she was flat chested so she can look like a man. It didn't work, bro. It didn't work. It was nothing but dick envy. Just wishing you had a penis. Just wishing you had a penis. Anyway, and so that brings us to this next article, which is hilarious. Now, this is a rumor, but Amazon to retool The Lord of the Rings of Power, sideline current showrunners after the first season was more of a failure than they could have anticipated. Well, duh. With Amazon's live-action bastardization of J.R.R. Tolkien's seminal fantasy works having underperformed by practically every metric, a new rumor suggests that the company will be retooling Lord of the Rings of Power for its second season, starting with the sidelining of its current showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. Betas! Word of this apparent shakeup was first suggested by noted film critic, industry insider, and Film Threat founder Chris Gore during an appearance on the 314th episode of the YouTube live stream show Midnight's Edge in the Morning. Discussing the series' first season finale with the Days panel, Gore was eventually asked by host Andre. Yeah, I can't read that. What have you heard from your peers in the industry? Is everyone so impressed with the Rings of Power like the showrunner suggested we should be? And he responded back, no. I bet. I heard from someone who has a connect at Amazon that if you want to know that effectively they're going to be retooling. What the hell is this? Oh. What the fuck? Move, man. What are you doing? I I mean, are they serious? It's just going to force an ad on you, huh? Anyway, um, no. We're gonna skip that part. Uh, to this end, Gore detailed that Amazon is well aware of the problems before noting that while there's what they publicly say, and there's also what they're actually doing behind the scenes. And what they're doing behind the scenes is they're freaking out that this was more of a failure than could have been anticipated. Bro, what is up with this ad? The second thing is the total rejection from fans. He suggested, I can't believe there has to be very few people who remain who still like it. And thirdly, the direct competition from House of the Dragon, he concluded, even like pre-seed and post-seed of the show's airing, it started earlier and is ending later, thus keeping it in viewers' consciousness for a longer period of time. This article is really pissing me off. Though it may be years before Gore's speculation is outright confirmed or denied, the damningly low audience scores currently held by the series on review aggregate sites Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes make it clear that something needs to be done should Amazon hope to justify their $1 billion Lord of the Rings investment. As of the writing, Rings of Power currently holds a collective 2.5 out of 10. Goodness gracious. I mean, listen, guys. This is hilarious. Like I said, I'm not that big of a Tolkien guy, but I could look at this and tell. First of all, I want to ask, what was up with the rings at the end? Like, it was like 3 rings. What kind of rings were those? Those shits were hideous. I hope they're not just redesigning the rings just to, whatever. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Rings of Power is garbage. Cut it out. Leave it alone.
Let's go. Hey. Beat that thing down like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby.